last night, in an incredible moment, Obama said Biden and Harris believe no public official should use their office to enrich themselves. Hey, hold on just a second. Barack, didn't you enter office with nothing? You kept telling us about how you still had student loans and you just bought a $12 million home in Nantucket. How did that happen? If you weren't using your office to enrich yourself, how did that happen?
Martha's Vineyard, Glenn.
What?
He brought it in Martha's Vineyard.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Not Nantucket.
Not Nantucket, yeah. Nantucket is probably too conservative for him. They're a $1 billion brand right now. And if you want to talk about people enriching themselves, I mean, don't even get me started on Joe Biden. We'll get into that in a second. Don't get me started on the Obamas being a $1 billion brand. Don't get me started on the Clintons. How about Bill de Blasio? Have you heard the latest on Bill de Blasio? His wife is now having to defend what we're being told is $1.1 million in salary for her staff. But the records show it's probably closer to $2 million for 14 people on her staff. Meanwhile, he's cutting basic services. He's cutting all kinds of people's salary, but he's defending her $1 million staff, saying, well, you don't know what she does for the city. Well, I'd like to know what she does for the city. What does she do for the city? And why is she doing it? Is this kind of an enriching? Is this a socialist again, enriching themselves? And no.
That sort of thing does not happen, Glenn.
Yeah, okay.
Only in all circumstances.
Thank you. Let me go to somebody who we have to speak gently to. Don't make any sudden moves. I think he has PTSD. Jason Buttrill is with us now, our chief researcher. And Jason, it was his turn to watch the DNC convention last night.
Could you send me back to a war zone, please, Glenn, and not
gosh.
make me do that again?
Oh, my gosh.
The GOP has really got to figure this out, because what happened last night does not work. I mean, they spent an entire hour just depressing everyone. That's all it was. With gun control, guns are killing the entire planet. Then they shifted into the climate crisis. The climate crisis is destroying the entire planet. And to cap it all off, Billie Eilish shows up as the little music video, and I thought that was supposed to like perk everyone up. She looked like she was there to appeal to the emo electorate. She looked like her mom forced her to go to a haunted house.
She really did. She looks so spooky. Again, I mean, if you know who Billie Eilish is, you might like her, you like her music, whatever, but she's not exactly a pick-me-up. You know what I mean?
No.
And she looks so damn spooky all the time and depressed. She's not the person to bring the electricity into the auditorium. You know what I mean? It didn't look good last night. It just didn't look good.
It looked like a giant infomercial, and I kept waiting for Phil Swift to come in through the door and saw a boat in half and sell us some Flex Seal. I mean, that was the vibe, really.
Can I tell you something? It would be funny if Donald Trump did something like that. If he had the Flex Seal guy on and just say, let me recap the DNC.
Hillary Clinton was the first, I guess, big name really to step up. And I didn't even really know she was going to show up, but I think she was added later. But I mean, the only really, first off, her speechwriter really dropped the ball on this. She had like 5 minutes to get everything out. And really the only thing significant she said was you could tell that she was still very, very bitter about the election. One thing that she said, don't forget Joe and Kamala can win by 3 million more votes and still lose. Take it from me. She's still going after the Electoral College.
They're still going after Russia. They're still accusing him of collusion with Russia.
That was how she followed that comment up with. She said, vote for a president that we choose, not chosen by a foreign adversary. I mean, I just about turned the video off right there. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Got to be kidding me. Pelosi was after Clinton. She didn't really say anything. Warren spoke, and again, sticking with not really saying much, but something to tease for next week. She was in a classroom, and behind her was something kind of interesting. It looked like she was like in a preschool, kindergarten, probably a kindergarten classroom. Behind her, just over her left shoulder, was a BLM letters in an elementary classroom. Now, I thought that, I mean, at first, I was like, maybe that's product placement, but no, that's by design. And
Yeah,
next
well-
week, we're going to show you why.
Yeah, next week we have a special on Wednesday that every American needs to watch. If you have kids in school or you have grandkids in school, you need to watch this special. It is the hostile takeover of our schools. It's not even hostile. It was a handover. BLM now is controlling a lot of the messaging in schools. And we're going to go over some of it today. If I have time, I want to go over some of the things that they're now saying in school that if you knew what was happening, you'd flip your wig. You must be involved in your child's education right now, and you must be involved in a local dialogue and the local school board. You have to. Our kids have no chance of escape if we don't stop this right now. It's a little overwhelming. Yesterday, Jason, you were here. You were not the researcher for last night's TV show. That was Nathan. But you were here while we did it and watched it. It is overwhelming on how well planned this is.
Yeah, I was just dying to show you something. You got busy with something else, but so this is one of those shows, like you said, that you have to watch, and this is one of those shows where we have smuggled documents. So all of this is happening in schools all over the country. One of the smuggled documents that I was just about to show you yesterday was a pamphlet on how to paint the Black Panther Party in a good light, how to point out the things that they stood for in a good light. I'm talking violence. Is violence ever justified? And this is what they're teaching elementary school kids. Elementary school kids. Is violence justified? Were the Black Panthers justified? Also Marxism. But they do it, again, they're talking to 8-year-olds. They're saying, hey, what is this about, getting money from people that have abundance and filtering it down to people that don't have as much? What system does that sound like to you? They're slowly trying to teach Marxism to children. Glenn, this is so bad. I've set up, because my son right now is in high school. He's just starting online school. I wish I could turn the camera and show you. I've set up him a little kiddie desk right next to mine. I am going to monitor every single thing they say, because guess what? Even if the school board is not involved, we've got smuggled documents that BLM is actually saying, okay, that's okay. If your board doesn't approve it, this is how you sneak it in anyway. I kid you not. You have to monitor everything.
The documents that we have received, we have tried over and over and over again to get this teacher to come on the program. She or he, we don't even know, will not come on the program, won't do anything. They're like, I did my job. I got the documents out. That's it. They are terrified of what is going on and how the control of our schools is now in the hands of overlords, warlords, and unions, and they will break bones. I mean, we are in the last phase of everything we talked about, Jason, thank you very much. We'll talk again. And thanks. I owe you combat pay, I think, for that last night, watching the DNC convention.